Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Got Amanda here with me tonight. We're going to be doing a box opening on her 1950 Chevy pickup that she's going to be doing her very first kit. And I'm going to give her some options on how to build for a first timer, some things that my dad taught me, and some other options that are out there too, and we're just going to let her decide. So let's get into it. Okay, Amanda, let's get into this thing. Oh my goodness, it must be nice to have fingernails.
Yeah, I don't bite mine.
Don't be mean. All right, guys. Okay, now you'll need to, well, first off, get the instructions out.
Why do they put them on the bottom?
Kit manufacturers. Okay, just leave everything else in there for the moment. And this is the way my dad taught me to do it, so I'm going to show this to you. Lay out the instructions. Now, I don't use instructions that much anymore because I know a lot about cars, as you know, and but I was taught to use this kind of not only as a guide for building, go ahead and open it up, but it's also a good drop cloth, and I have instruction sheets I know from when I was a kid that were really they had a lot of paint on them because that's what I used as, again, kind of a drop cloth. This is all laid out, and here's your parts. You'll notice that, for example, there's part numbers, torque tube, part number 66, and I'll show you where those are on the sprue there too. And you build this in stages. For example, you would start with the letter A here, and which is the engine assembly, and you've got different sections here that you'll be building. And what you can do is you can either only take the parts off the sprue by the numbers. If you don't know what they are, just look for the numbers on the sprue, and I'll show you that here in a second. And do the engine, build the engine first before you take anything else off the sprue, then go to the next section, which this, after the engine, part B is the tire and wheel assembly down here.
Okay.
And then go to C, which is the chassis assembly, this stuff down through here, interior, and so on. But first of all, let's get some parts out. We'll leave this out as kind of your drop cloth, and let's get a few parts out. And so you got a bag there with some scissors and a hobby knife over there. But let's look at your other parts here real quick too. You've got your chrome.
Okay.
You've got, make sure, usually when I'm checking a kit, when I get it, I'll check and make sure. There's the 4 tires. Kind of need 4 unless you're building a trike. Here's your clear parts. Now, here's something you don't want to let happen. Don't take that out quite yet. If these are left sitting in here bare, and one of these rubber tires rests on this, it will mar that plastic. If heat or anything gets to it, it'll mess it up. So what I usually do is put this in a Ziploc bag, and to keep it away, or fold it up in the instructions, but keep it away. It also keeps it from getting scratched up.
Okay.
And then make sure you've got your red clear parts. That's your tail lights.
Okay.
And there's your decal sheet, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape too. We'll have to get a 1950, what was it, 55, 57? About 57 South Carolina tag.
Oh, yeah.
But, and that won't be a hard thing to find. We'll look that up and get one. You might want to go ahead and cut your chrome open.
Probably going to be more like 60.
Do you remember if the bumper was white or if it was chrome? Because back then it was white. Okay, yeah. All right. So we will need to de-chrome these, and once you get these off of the sprue. And speaking of which, while we're looking at chrome, let me show you something else that you'll want to know. Go ahead and take that out. When you're looking at your instructions, you see how here on the, it says the hubcap, for example, it says plated. So you'll know that if it's plated, it's one of these chrome pieces. And we're going to use your sprue cutters to get all this stuff off later.
Okay.
But anyway, and we'll get the bumpers, which were white, and probably that grill was too. It was? Okay. Then we'll get that in the purple pond, and I'll show you what that's all about too. Go ahead, and you got that cut open now while we were talking, so go ahead and take your parts out. And does this look intimidating?
Looks like a quilt.
It's a quilt. It's in pieces.
Yep.
Okay, so we know your engine assembly up here and your part numbers. Now, you can look at the parts and see kind of which ones are the engine assembly. So you just go through these sprues.
That's going to be that.
That's going to be very good. Excellent. So there's your engine parts. Now, what I was telling you about that you may not know is, you see where the corresponding part number, like number 24 is the fan. So that ought to be easy to find. And you see it right there. Okay. And what does the part number say on it?
24.
Okay. So you see how this works.
Yep.
Now, to paint this, you've got instructions. Move that where we can move this down here and show everybody real quick. These instructions, and a lot of companies do this, they'll tell you, for example, you see right here, the paint the parts shown here prior to assembly. So before you paint, it's going to tell you gloss black for the fan, factory,
Okay.
flat black on the belts, and the pulley faces are gloss black. Now, what I usually do is do this in flat black or rubber black, and then I use some clear, I've got some Testors clear gloss, and then I just take a brush and kind of brush over that, and there you go. And it says right here, the engine assembly, the Chevrolet engine is gray, a medium gray. So, and that would be right for that era. So there you go. Now, okay, let's move this back up. I'll give you a little tip on different ways modelers do this. For ease, to keep from losing any parts, you can paint them on the sprue.
That doesn't make sense.
Huh?
That doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah. You can paint it on the sprue because you don't lose any parts that way. And then, after it's dry, you can snip them off and touch up those other areas. But, now, me personally, I personally don't do that. I remove everything. And the reason I do that is if there's any seam lines or if there's any, this is a pretty crisp molding. There's not any flash or anything. I don't see any flash on a single piece on this. But if you had some flash, you'd want to remove that before you painted it, of course. And the other thing is, like on this radiator, you see the mold seam line there, which will take that set of sanding sticks I got you here. Remember those?
Yep, mine.
Yes, I told you, no nails with those. Sorry about that, guys. For some inexplicable reason, the camera turned off. But anyway, we're back. You were asking a question.
Yeah, I wanted to know what something was. Is that the transmission?
Yes. Yeah. Now, some of these, the transmission is separate from the engine block. This one is all together. So you'll want to paint, once you paint the engine and all the rest of that, you'll probably brush paint this back. And I'll show you I'll coach you through that as we go too. And as I was saying earlier, like on the radiator there, once you remove these, when you see little lines that don't look natural, then you take your sanding sticks and you go back and clean those up too. Any other questions on these other parts before we start? The radiator cap, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of cool, huh?
It's awfully little.
Well,
okay.
That's true. You want to look at any of the other parts and see if you have any questions? Then we'll get the nippers out and start cutting these. And guys, what we'll do is I'll let her decide on if she wants to paint any of it on the sprue or remove it. Y'all know what my thoughts are on that, but I'm going to let her make that ultimate decision. And I might swear a little bit. I don't know.
Not in front of me, you won't.
But, well, okay then. Yeah, she's pretty independent. And for a first time, if we've been building any length of time, we have our ways of doing it, and I'm gonna let her develop her own way of doing things too. There, so
Hubcaps.
yeah, turn it over.
Yeah. Looks better on this
And
side.
that's your backs. You see, you got one missing right here. It's probably fallen off down in one of those.
There it is.
Yeah, it's in the bag. See there? So that's another thing, a reason that some people like to leave them on the sprue is because they might get lost. Yeah, just put it back in the bag.
Well, if I take everything off the sprue, then I won't know where to find it.
Well, I can coach you through that. But if you want to do it that way, then and just do sub-assemblies like engine, just the parts on the engine, and then we'll use, like I have the little project box, the shoe boxes, little plastic shoe boxes,
Yeah.
and those little tins that I use, the Altoid tins. Then we can put like all the engine parts in one of those, so you know that all of these parts, part number whatever through whatever, that's all your engine parts are in one place.
Okay.
And I used to do them in Ziploc bags too that way, and then do like the interior all in one container. And it's easy to keep everything together that way. But for a beginner, what I'm suggesting is that you start with only the engine parts, totally finish painting and everything, the engine. Totally finish and paint the tires, wheels, well, the wheels, rims, all that stuff. And then move on to the chassis, one sub-assembly at a time, where I'll build one thing, and while parts on it are drying, I'll jump to the next assembly. But that's over 60 years of modeling too, so
Well,
you're not even 60 minutes into your first kit yet. So
that's true. Wood grain.
wood grain, I'm going
Yep.
to show you how to do wood grain. So guys, we're all going to have a lesson. I haven't done wood grain in quite a while, but I am going to show her my technique. I know there's a lot of different techniques, and I've watched them, and they're all really good, but I have one that was taught to me years ago, and that's actually a pretty decent looking wood grain
It
there
is.
too, isn't it?
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it should be on the bottom too. Yeah, and I'll show you there's a little injection pin mark here and here, but it's not really bad. But I'll show you how to take that out and still leave the wood grain too.
Okay.
That is, unless you just want to
Well, that's the
cover
bottom
up
of
the
it, right?
Yeah, that's the bottom, and that's the top. And these little metal strips, I'll show you how to do those too.
I don't have a very steady hand, so I don't know.
You're not going to have to dry brush.
Okay.
Any other questions about parts or anything?
No, I just think that for me, the easier way to do it's going to be to do one thing at a time, so that I don't have a whole lot off the
Sprue at one time.
sprue at one time, because I lose it.
Wise move. Wise move. Now, did you want to paint any of it on the sprue, or do you want to
I
remove
don't want to paint it on the sprue. I don't think that's...
it? Okay. Well, I'll show you some techniques that I use, because we'll be using... I've asked her before we started the video if she wanted to use a spray bomb or a spray can, or if she wanted to use the airbrush. And I'm going to coach her toward using both. There's a few things like the chassis, suspension, that kind of stuff. We can spray bomb that, and I want to teach her how to use a spray can kind of the right way, so to speak. We all have our own technique for that too.
I'll just bring Zoe up here and let her spray it.
Well, that's true too. Our granddaughter,
She already knows
who,
how.
Who I taught to airbrush at 6 years old, and I am very proud of her. Did a bang-up job, and I'm talking, I was even impressed.
Well, I will say, it may be my first model, but it's not the first time I have crafted.
No, you have done everything from beading to some intricate sewing on quilts and things like that. So she's detail-minded. So I'm kind of thinking she's going to do okay on this. And like I said, I'm going to coach her along as we go. So we're going to go ahead and start with just the engine assembly and that stuff. Get that off of there, and I'm going to let her get some stuff glued up, maybe even primed. And in the next video, we'll see how that engine's going. Okay, guys, is there anything else you want to share?
Nope, it's just going to be, I don't know how long it's going to take me, because this is not my only focus.
Well, in case you guys didn't know, if you recall, if you've seen the first video, you know that the debut for this is set for the Acme show next year. So she's got quite a bit of time. but she's been a little excited about it. So I'm gonna coach her and make sure she does some things right, but as time permits for her. So we're going to be working on the engine first, and we'll give you an update on that soon.
We sure will.
All right, guys. God bless. Have an awesome night. Leave her some encouraging comments. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye, y'all.